Good afternoon, everyone. I, Vedani Kohli from Planotech Media House, welcomes you all for Unstoppable CEOs Episode 2. Our show is about the most prominent CEOs from different sectors. Our CEOs share their experience, which made them effective and efficient as an entrepreneur or business owner, and speak on several business related objects and experience their personal stories of success along with inspiring and insightful business related subjects. Today we are with C.A. Shashu Singh, who is a well-known chartered accountant and is practicing this field from last 30 years. We welcome you, Mr. Shashu Singh, to our show.
Thank you.
So, sir, we begin the questions.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, sir, as being a chartered accountant, how did your journey begin here? Like, it is not easy to become such a perfect and successful chartered accountant, but you did that. So, how was your journey throughout this course? Please share.
Thank you very much, Vedanti.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And I would like to thank Planotech Media House and its officers, Mr. Niranjan, and CEO, Mr. Darshan Kumar, for giving me an opportunity of being interviewed. And to begin with, as you said, I would like to thank you also for appreciating the fact that I am a chartered accountant and it is a tough job. No doubt, it seems tough, but becoming a chartered accountant is, since I've become one, I can say it is not that tough. Requires some skills, some effort, and some hard work. So I have become a chartered accountant. How did the journey begin? So I qualified my BCom examinations in August 1983, and my uncle, who was also a chartered accountant, a very senior chartered accountant, he advised me to immediately join this chartered accountancy course as it would be a professional degree. And in spite of any adverse situations, he said, a professional will always have something to eat. He can never starve. Business may go good, business may become bad, but a professional's life remains stable at all points of time. So he advised me to join the chartered accountancy course, and immediately I acceded to his advice, took it in good stride, and immediately joined the chartered accountancy course. I was an average student, but I could qualify later on. So that is how the journey began. My uncle motivated me and advised for joining this course. So that is the point from where the journey of my chartered accountancy career began.
So, moving on to the next question.
Yes.
As we all know that it's not easy to become a chartered accountant. It includes more studies, more subjects which are included here. So, if we say, how much time do you spend in your studies? That actually we have to spend many hours over here. How much time did you spend here?
Actually, chartered accountancy as a course involves two aspects. One is a practical training of 3 years under a practicing chartered accountant. That is like a Gurukul, where we have to go to the office of the chartered accountant from morning till evening, stay with him, do the works which are allotted in the office, and barely we have any time except to come home and sleep and then again get up and go back to the office. So 3 years is a very tough training process. And in this training process also we have to appear for examinations on every 6 months. So the tough portion becomes the doing of the training at the same time and simultaneously appearing for the examinations. Examinations require full-time study. Training also takes your full effort. And I was very sincere in my training. So that posed some problem with respect to studies, time for studies. So that we used to manage by taking 1 to 2 months of leave before the examinations. And at that period, in that period of time, I would go back to my parents' house who were staying in Varanasi. And there I would be a sort of, say, quarantine in the current context from Allahabad. And there I would study for 1.5 months or 2 months. And in that period of study time, I would study for not more than 9 hours in a day. Total hours put in for study was 11 hours, but output of study was about 9 hours. From 4 to 8 in the morning, I would study. Then after that, from 11 to 1, then 3 to 7, and then 8 to 9. 11 hours I would put in, and output would be 9 hours. And that was sufficient for passing the examinations.
Yes, sir. It is really tough to become a chartered accountant, as we see. So we really salute you, sir, for becoming such a great chartered accountant, sharing such an information. So moving to the next question, sir. After becoming a CA, the time of your life becomes really tough in spending in that course, becoming such a professional person. So how much time do you spend in this? How do you manage your family and your profession together, Tanisha?
Actually, when a person becomes a chartered accountant, there are two categories of persons. One whose father is also a chartered accountant, so he inherits a practice which is a running practice. His car is moving already in the fourth gear. And the other type of person is like me, who did not have any background of chartered accountancy profession. So I had to establish my practice from the scratch. And after 3 months of time, I could get one professional work in which I was given a remuneration of 200 rupees. So this is the way you establish a practice very slowly. It is a slow process, not that much, but it is a slow process. And one has to keep a lot of patience to be sincere in approach and meet some financial requirements also. And after becoming a CA, the society starts looking upon you as if immediately a high level of income will start. In practice, high level of income comes only after a few years of continuous practice. If a person goes into service, yes, immediately income starts. But in practice, it takes some time. And number of hours, as much work we can get in the initial years of practice, number of hours is not an issue because the energy level is very high at that point of time. And as we get along with the practice and professional years, then one has to look after the health aspect and limiting the number of hours also, because after 10 years or 20 years of practice, work never stops. Work will continue forever. You continue working day, night, it will never stop. So one has to strike a balance at that time between life and work. Initial years, we have to get as much work as we can. Then after marriage, we have to strike a balance between the married life, personal life, professional life, and also the requirement to look after the parents and grandparents. I had the privilege of looking after my parents as well as grandparents. I was married also. So all three things were there on the family front, and the profession was as it is. But all my family associates, like my wife or my parents or my grandparents, they were very cooperative in all aspects. And any place, anywhere, I would say they were cooperative and they would adjust in any manner. With respect to a tie, if there was any between the family and the profession, I always gave first priority to the family, and I would very politely request my professional assignment that since I have to look after my family in this manner, so I will be taking up this assignment after one day or after a few hours. And that the profession always understands. So family and profession were managed very well. There was never a conflicting issue which gave me pains.
It's very good, sir, that you are managing properly your family and your profession. Such a great thing, sir. So, sir, during this course, during this, who was your motivator at that time and today also? Who is that person who has motivated you to become such a great person? Please tell.
Initially, I was launched into doing CA by my uncle, as I told you earlier.
Yeah.
My primary motivators in conducting my studies were my parents. And after that, the parents launched me into the market of chartered accountancy or say whatever in this world. And after that, the society was the motivator. Whatever work I did, whenever that work was submitted, the appreciation that it got was the motivator for the next work. The satisfaction on the face of the client, that was the prime motivator. And that is continuing even till today. The society and the client, they were my motivators and they are still my motivators.
That's very good, sir, for having such a great motivator in your life who has taken you to such a great place now. So, sir, in this your profession, how do you bring more new initiatives in your work? How do you initiate more new things? How do you go with new things and bring new ideas here instead?
As a matter of habit, anything which is repetitive more than 4 times, that becomes boring to any person who is enthusiastic. So same was the case with me. If anything got repetitive in nature, I would always look for newer ways or higher ways. So these looking out for newer ways or for higher ways of conducting things or for conducting new things, that always initiated some spark, and that spark moved us to innovate into new things. And continuously innovation is being done in our office and for me personally also. I'm always a learner for new things, new habits, new courses, new paradigms. There has to be some sunshine always.
So, sir, as practicing as a CA, how do you guide your students who are as internship in your office? How do you guide them? How do you motivate them?
This is a very good question. And I have been passionate about guiding my students. So I guide them that your work is not only to become a CA, but your work is to become a good human being. And as soon as you join the chartered accountancy course, I'm sure you will clear. You will become a chartered accountant one day. The society also believes this. And it was my personal experience also that when I joined the CA course, my father and his friends would seek advice from me about their taxation issues. It was very difficult for me, having just cleared BCom, to give taxation advice to senior people. But I learned that these are things which the society expects from me. So I did more work in my office so that I could give proper advice to my relatives and my known people. So that is what I tell my students, that not for the advice part, but that the now society is respecting you. You have to act and behave as if you are already a chartered accountant. And the student is merely 12th class pass or say BCom pass. And many senior people are giving him respect. So at times a feeling of pride or false ego that develops within the student, and he thinks he is senior to so many other people. That false ego has to be avoided. It should not develop. Secondly, the person who is doing CA, he gets a lot of respect in many government offices and other places. and he is in a position to get works done for so many people in so many ways, that he has to take care that he caters to his relatives, to his to the society which seeks anything from him. He has to take care that he helps them, even at the cost of his professional studies or whatever, that he has to learn to manage. But contribution to the society has to become a primary aspect of the student or the person who has just joined the student CA course. He should also take care to contribute to the society, as it is his responsibility from now onwards. This responsibility will not come after the day when his final exams are clear. He has to realize that. This is what I tell my interns. You have to study, you have to pass out the exam, you have to do the training, all things, and apart from that, you have to look to the society. And if you will look to the society, you will automatically study well, you will automatically pass out, you will automatically do good training.
It's really very great, sir. Such a good knowledge. So, sir, from having such a good experience, such a great experience from many years of being a CA, what tips and formulas you want to give to other students and other people to become like you? Please share.
I would like to give some tips and formula to the students in two categories. One as a student life, and second as a professional in his professional life. So long as a student is in his student life, he has not cleared the professional examinations. He has to give in regular hours of study. Hours of study are not so important. It is not important that the student studies for 20 hours a day. It is more important that he studies for 2 hours every day. So regularity of study is more important in chartered accountancy course. Regular hours of study is first tip. Second is there has to be a timetable for study. Without a timetable for study, it is just like you want to climb a wall. You use a ladder. But after you reach the end of the ladder, you find that your ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. You wanted to climb the right wall, or you wanted to say climb the south end wall, but you put the ladder on the north end wall. So all your exercise goes in vain. So you have to have a timetable for a study. Then hard work, no doubt, has to be there. Sincerity of approach is the fourth aspect which a student has to consider. And continuous focus on the subjects on which he is studying. These are the 5 pillars. These, if a student follows, he will surely become a successful chartered accountant. He will qualify for his examinations. And one precaution that has to be taken is by the student. He has to study the books and the syllabus from the left corner of the cover. I repeat, left corner of the cover book to the right down corner of the end of the book. Last page, right end corner, and first page, first cover, left upper corner. From there to there, the book has to be studied. We have to avoid only studying smart, only studying those questions or trying to study those questions which might come in exams or which might be necessary to just pass out. You have to take the knowledge. The student has to take care that he takes the knowledge of the subject and not merely to pass out in the examinations. This is about the student front. So far as the professional front, if time is short, I can cut short also.
No, sir, as you wish. You can say as you want.
Right. So where the professional front is concerned, usually the student is taught that now you have to earn a lot of money. Do work, take money. That is a very short-term view and a distorted view and a negative view of the profession. No doubt money is an aspect, but that is not for which we are professionals here. We are here to solve the problem of the client. So first and foremost, we have to look at in the eyes of the client, see to what his actual problem is. It is very difficult to define a problem also. So we have to locate the problem, solve the problem. That is our primary job as a professional, not to charge money. Money is a separate aspect that will come. But the primary aspect of a professional is to solve the problem of the client. Then after that, we have to see that all is legal compliances. Legal compliances of a client. There are so many legal compliances: taxation, GST, advance tax, TDS, filing of returns. All those legal compliances have to be taken care of by us. We have to see that all those legal compliances are done by him. A businessman is fighting in a turbulent world. We are the only persons who are with him and without sharing his profits. So we have to do some hand holding also with that client. So once we do some hand holding, our association and intimacy with the client on a professional level increases many times. And the relationship far exceeds the relationship of filing merely 1 or 2 income tax or GST returns. And we are in a position to show new dimensions to the client for his expansion and diversification, marketing. Those all things as a professional, when we do, automatically money will follow.
Well, it's really great, sir, as you said about students and professionals, both how they can follow such things. So, sir, I want to ask that what motivation you want to give to people that they can follow to become such a successful person like you? What, any motivation, any type of motivation?
You see, motivation, what I would suggest, that becoming merely a chartered accountant is not the end of this world. Yes, I agree from where the student is after clearing out his 12th examination. From that point of view, it seems to be a Herculean task or a big achievement to become a chartered accountant. But with a larger perspective of life, merely becoming a chartered accountant will not help you. We have to strive to become a better human being, wherein chartered accountancy plays a major role. We have become professionally qualified by becoming a chartered accountant. Professionally qualified means one person, one student, he has cleared the chartered accountancy examinations, he has cleared the training, so now he is professionally qualified. But is he a professional in true manner? In its true sense, is he a professional? This is a basic defect in our education system, where education no doubt is being given to us, but learning is not given. So we become professionally qualified, but we become a professional only when we are satisfying 3 conditions of a professional. First condition of a professional is that he can work unsupervised. Nobody has to board him or press him to do this work, do this work, do this. Please do this work, please do my work. No, that is not a professional. He has to work unsupervised. Second is, he has to certify the completion of a work. It is our human nature, because we are scolded from the beginning of our lives for doing something in a manner which is not suiting to our parents or to our seniors. So what we do is we complete 90% of a work and keep the 10% pending. कि ठीक है कर रहे हैं अभी देखते हैं हो जाएगा. We have to complete. A professional will complete 100% of the work. He has to say, I take responsibility for this work. Now this work is done, I am responsible for it. Any mistake is found, I will take responsibility. The professional is that second quality. He has to certify the completion of his work, of any work. And the third is that he has to maintain his integrity. A professional comes across a lot of money, which is at his disposal, which he can spend, which he can give, which nobody will ask for any account of the same. He can charge any fees, he will be paid that amount of fees. But it is his responsibility to maintain his integrity in his professional life as well as personal life. When he maintains this integrity, only then he is a true professional, even after being professionally qualified. So we have to differentiate between the aspect of professionally qualified and a professional.
So, sir, now we would like to thank you for such an informative topic, chartered accountancy. As being a chartered accountant, we all appreciate you, a great respect from us for such an inspiring words which you shared with us. A very, very thank you from our side.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you.